Well, I've got to tell you guys, I have been playing around with the AI chatbot ever since it came on the market to kind of see how it responds to certain things and the answers it gives. Well, yesterday I asked it two very prominent questions, and the answer it gave me was chilling to the very core. And the questions that I asked were number one, if a politician wanted to destroy a country, what would they do? Right? And the second question that I asked this chatbot is, if a politician was thinking of overthrowing the government, what would be the things that they would do? And to my shock, it gave me responses, and you guys are going to be floored by those responses. But as a reminder, some other things have been happening with these AI chatbot, right? As a quick reminder, take a look at this. This is on arstechnica.com. Meta addresses AI hallucinations as chatbot says Trump shooting didn't happen. As you know, for a while, unfortunately, when Donald Trump had the original assassination attempt on his life, AI was saying, oh, that didn't happen. That's fake news. That's misinformation. Of course, they said this is a glitch and we fixed it, wink and a nod. And then we also had the thing happening with Alexa as a quick reminder. And this is on Snopes because the liberal source. But anyway, Amazon says it was an error caused by Alexa to give reasons to vote for Harris, but not for Trump. So Alexa was going around when you would ask it, basically, why should I vote for Kamala? It would give you this big long out reason why you should, because she's the first Black woman president, yada, yada. And then it was when they asked the same question about Donald Trump, it said, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to basically answer that question. And of course, they got in a lot of heat over it. And it was, of course, caused by a glitch. The problem is all these glitches seem to be in favor of Democrats every single time. After all, a lot of the AI technology is owned by radical leftists. Ergo, the reason that I've kind of been off and on with these questions on AI chatbot. Now, I want to start first with the first question that I asked chatbot GPT. If a politician wanted to destroy a country, what would they do? Now, before I give you that answer, just a quick break from my sponsor. Well, have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I saw a video of him the other day and I was completely shocked. I mean, the man is literally in his 80s. He is working out, kicking butt, and more active than ever. In fact, what stood out to me is that he seemed stronger than he's ever been. He works out longer and he had lots and lots of energy. And I thought to myself, I want to be like him when I'm his age. So what the heck is he doing that is changing his lifestyle, right? So he claims that he did this by making one change in his life. And I want to encourage you guys to check out that change. And in order to check it out, all you have to do is go to chuckdefense.com/haven to find out what that change is. And I have to tell you, I found out what that change was, and it made a huge difference in my life. And I honestly believe that it will make a huge difference in your life. This is why I've sponsored with them. But you can check it out at chuckdefense.com/haven. And if you want more information, you can click the link in the description box below to watch the video, or if you're on the cell phone, click that more button. But trust me, you're going to want to check this out. Go to chuckdefense.com/haven. All right, back to the broadcast. So if a politician wanted to destroy a country, what on earth would they do? Well, as you know, I asked ChatGTP, the AI artificial intelligence program, just that question. And here's what it actually said. And I'm going to throw it up on the screen over here so you guys can see it. And just so you know, I've got it on my phone. I'm going to reference it also. But here's what it said. If a politician aimed to destabilize or destroy a country, they might focus on actions that weaken the nation's core structures: political, economical, social, and security. Here could be some potential strategies that they would use. And the first one at the very top is something the Biden and Harris administration is very guilty of, and that is economic sabotage. It goes on to describe that up here, that they might push policies that lead to excessive debt, inflation, or even recession, crippling the economy, undermining trade, over-regulating businesses, something they've been well known for, and discouraging foreign investments. Now, Obviously, both parties, both Republicans and Democrats, are guilty of increasing the debt. However, under Joe Biden, we have had the worst inflation, and Kamala Harris, but we have had the worst inflation we have ever had. Nobody can really afford, many of us, at least our average middle-class Americans and poor Americans, can't afford groceries. We can't afford gas. We can't afford going out. We're having to live paycheck to paycheck, all because of this administration. Well, according to ChatGTP, this is done on purpose to destroy a country. And it is exactly what Harris and Biden are doing. Number two there, dividing the population, and dividing it specifically along social, racial, and ideological lines. And again, the Biden-Harris administration is guilty of this. Since they got into office, they have been framing white people as, people of privilege, and then they have been portraying people of color as the victims of white people who are not privileged. Well, all that kind of thinking and mentality does is divide a nation. And they have been very divisive. Say, we're going to offer this stuff to certain people and not other people, and base everything off the color of your skin. So 100%, this falls in line with Freudian slip, Obama, I was going to say, Biden and Harris, who are all about, in my opinion, dividing the nation. Not my opinion, that's exactly what they are doing, right? Number three, eroding institutional trust. For all these three-letter agencies, well, by golly, that was absolutely done when the Kamala and Biden-Harris administration decided to weaponize all of our three-letter agencies. It eroded all trust that the American people had in our three-letter agencies. Check. Number three. Number four, weakening our national defense. They might defund or undermine the military and intelligence agencies, making the country more vulnerable to threats. Well, I think one of the ways that they've made us more vulnerable to threats is by literally opening up our border. Now, regarding the military, they have also weakened our military by making it go woke. Instead of teaching our military about mainly how to be strong, how to defend a country, how to defend Americans, instead they're being taught DEI policies and woke agenda that has nothing to do with our United States military. Not to mention, they purged a bunch of military servicemen under COVID-19, for those who didn't get the vaccine. This doesn't sound like you're building a military. It sounds more like you're weakening it. So yet again, another reason to look at Kamala and Biden and see how they are destroying a country, right? Number five is undermining rule of law. Ignoring or selectively enforcing laws allowing corruption or protecting criminals, which would weaken the justice system to increase lawlessness. This is 100% happening by the Biden administration and the Harris administration. They have been soft on crime. We have all these George Soros DAs out there letting criminals literally go while focusing on arresting their opposition, right? The January 6ers. And if we look at all the laws passed in a lot of these liberal cities, now you can steal as long as it's under a certain amount. It's not a criminal crime anymore. And thus, what's happened? Crime has skyrocketed. Well, again, according to ChatGTP, that's how you destroy a country. Number six, misusing media and misinformation. They could flood the media with propaganda, restrict freedom of press, and spread misinformation to keep people misinformed and manipulate public opinion. Well, as we all know, the mainstream media, 90% of them are controlled by these three-letter agencies and the Democrats. So they have been spouting all this positive news about one side while constricting any positive news for the most part on Donald J. Trump, and they have been avidly attacking conservatives. So this is definitely something happened by the Harris and Biden administration. So there's just more evidence that they want to destroy a country. Number seven, allowing foreign influence. This might invite foreign influence in domestic affairs, potentially compromising national security and weakening our country globally. Now, there's some of that, I think, that is going on, but I'll leave you guys to your own interpretation on that one. Number eight, neglecting critical infrastructure such as energy grids, right? If you think about, and even healthcare and all these other things, if you think about that, the Biden administration, Harris administration has been all about, outsourcing energy from abroad and, making all our cars EV and going green. Well, the problem is we don't have a sufficient green system to recoup our system now in place. So they're we're having energy crises. We're all over the country because of it, because they want to go green. And we don't have the technology to fully go green to the level that we need as of yet. Therefore, our electric grid is getting destroyed yet again. Another thing that signals they're destroying our country. Number 9, sabotaging education and innovation. And yes, they have done this with critical race theory and putting all these books in our schools that have nothing to do with education and everything to do with sex ed. They are brainwashing and propagandizing our children. Number 9. And number 10, creating a constitutional crisis, right? Repeatedly undermining or altering constitutional protections like our First Amendment right, like our Second Amendment. Like they're always going around these saying basically it's old, it's outdated, this is what they're trying to do. And that absolutely screams. And in conclusion, ChatGTP says the actions would likely have devastating effects, leading to social, economical, and political instability that could take years to fix. What's interesting is this is exactly what Democrats have been doing. I don't see Republicans doing this. So the question has to be asked, are they really trying to destroy a country? Now, I went ahead and asked it another question. And the question, and I'll throw this up as well. I've got my sides here kind of backwards. If a politician was thinking of overthrowing a government, what would be the things that they would do? Well, here it is. Number 1, building a loyal support network, both in the government and out of the government. If you think of all these agencies like your Act Blue, your Media Matters, your Open Society, your George Soros Foundations, Bill Gates, and all these networks, and how they are building this network, the Democrats have absolutely done that. They control and own media. They control and own the 3-letter agencies. They've weaponized all of them. They own at least unionized teachers, the Department of Education, our colleges. All these things are pushing liberal leftist ideologies. They absolutely have that network. I will contest. Republicans do not. We have no network like that whatsoever. In fact, we're severely lacking. Number 2, undermining opposing institutions. In other words, bodies like the Supreme Court, that is actually more conservative right now, thanks to Donald J. Trump, they go after and undermine. That's number 2 thing that they would do. And this is exactly what the Democrats have talked about. Number 3, increasing executive powers, pushing for more laws, rules, and regulations, right, that give them more authority over things. Well, the Democrat Party is always about giving more power to themselves, giving more power to the government. And this is their cliche and an act that they've been avidly doing. They've been going after our First Amendment right and our Second Amendment right to usurp our freedoms that we have. Number 4, controlling information. This is a Democrat point that they now sell to the American public. They're like, hey, we're going to shut down misinformation and disinformation, whatever they deem that is. And they're going to control information. And the Democrats are all for it. Well, according to ChatGTP, this is how you would overthrow a government. You would shut down and control information. And they have been doing that. They've done that all over these social media platforms. There's a lot of things that you can't talk about here, right? That's why you need to get to restrictedrepublic.com. Number 5, exploiting a crisis. Remember what Democrat Rahm Emanuel said? Never let a crisis go to waste. This is the ploy line of the Democrats. Again, according to ChatGTP, this is how a politician would overthrow a government. Number 6, eliminating opposition. And this one I'm going to read. They might try to remove or discredit political opponents through legal or extra-legal means, including threatening arrest or even violence. Like they're threatening to arrest Donald J. Trump, like them calling for the arrest of Elon Musk, like them actually arresting Donald J. Trump, like going after their political opposition, like arresting Michael Flynn, Stephen Bannon, and all the people surrounding Donald J. Trump, like that. Definitely a Democrat forte. Number 7, mobilizing popular support, creating a loyal public base. Isn't that what all these little Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all these radical left organizations are all about? They've got that base. They absolutely do. And number 8, manipulating election or legislative process. And the only thing I'll say about that is they definitely do not want ID to vote. We can't buy a car. We can't drink a beer or a wine, or we can't get a tattoo, and so many other things without an ID. Yet we can go vote without an ID. You can't even fly in an airplane unless you're a legal alien without an ID. Why would the Democrats not want identification to vote? It's certainly not because people don't know how to get an ID, which is the lamest thing I've ever heard. But this is literally the excuse that they're using. But again, if you wanted to overthrow a government, according to ChatGTP, those are the 8 things that you would do. And what's really terrifying are these are the things that Democrats have been doing. And I know I kind of went long. Hopefully I didn't go too long. But anyhow, wanted to bring that to your attention. Please share this with everyone you know. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.